Ladies and gentlemen, this is an airbag. I sincerely hope that this will be the last time that you will see an airbag, because next time that you might see it, it will be right in front of your face. And then it needs to perform 100%. All the things that have to be obtained to really produce a well-performing airbag will be handled during the next 10 minutes. Let's jump right in. Hello and servus from Bavaria. Welcome to our webcast, also known as mCast. If you're here for the very first time, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It offers you a wide selection of great videos where we explain about all the benefits of a controlled and well-organized management of the production. Today's topic is, after I introduced myself, the airbag production. However, my name is Stefan Keri. I'm responsible for the textile applications at Mahlo. As I said, today's topic is the airbag production. It is a rather sensitive and a very serious issue due to the fact that there's no room for defects during the entire production of airbags. They have to perform, and therefore quality is an absolute must. Let's see what to look at, and let's jump right in. So first of all, let's give you an introduction about what you can expect during the next 15 minutes. So first of all, what matters? What is important with those airbags besides that they are saving lives? Then, of course, pattern algorithm. How do we manage to really identify all the different objects? Yes, it happens with a line scan camera, and I will talk a little bit about the technique, the technology of this particular camera type. Then we have some application examples, and then finally, to make it easy for you, we have also listed all the advantages once again to really give you the best out of that little presentation. But first of all, do you have any issues during the airbag production that you want to share with us, that we can actually help you making things a little bit better and helping with our experience for your individual problem? If you do have something like that, drop it in the comments, and I'm sure that we can come together and find a solution for nearly everything. So, what matters? At airbags, simply everything matters, because airbags save lives. They only save lives if they perform. As long as they don't perform, they are a risk, because everybody relies on them, and especially when a car is hit and the lives are in danger, these little airbags are the last barrier between life and death. So they have to work, they have to perform. And during the production, you have to make everything possible that they really perform 100%. There is no room for any defect. There's absolutely zero tolerance for anything that could go wrong. As they are produced as a one-piece woven OPW in a jacquard weaving process, it is very important to really protect that piece during the entire finishing process, which is of course happening continuously. First of all, because you can monitor and identify the process much easier during a continuous process, but also it is a very cost-sensitive process, which is happening during a continuous process. You save water, you save chemicals, you save electricity, and therefore a continuous process is always superior in this concern. So the shape of the different pieces must not be damaged at no point, especially not during the assembly. So once it has been through all the different steps, weaving, washing, finishing, everything, then you end up at the assembly, most of the time also automated. And once it is there at the assembly, the automatic cutting, laser cutting, must not ever cut through the design and the contour of those airbags. And therefore a fully controlled, transparent process is absolutely mandatory, especially with airbags. So here the airbag distortion is also important because the shape is very, very essential when it comes to the assembly at the very end of it. Here you can see actually the repeat measurement for the length of the airbags, and this is how we actually monitor the dimension. Because besides the distortion and the repeat, a very exact and fast dimension measurement of the one-piece woven airbags is essential. So this is how it works. We have this binary large object, those segments, and here automatically the program calculates the gravity of that object, and it measures the dimensions where this gravity object is taking place. And this is how you end up with the different photographs of this airbag in the individual parts. The line scan camera, which is basically monitoring and getting all the different pictures, is working like that you have this camera which is monitoring this running web, and you have an encoder. The camera though is measuring with a very, very narrow row of sensitive pixels, and it is detecting the pattern which is then running underneath. The encoder though is giving them a very good identification of the distance, because with the speed you get also the information about the repeat and the length which is involved in this particular part. If you have both the scanning of the object and the distance, you can easily see the object not only in the shape but also in the length. And with airbags, both matter drastically, because it is the length and the shape which is at the assembly, the final stage, the important part of a performance or non-performance. Once again, the line scan camera, what is important? It is having a huge frequency, and therefore the resolution of that camera is also very, very high. The triggering is happening by means of this encoder, which is giving you the length repeat, and the resolution of 1 millimeter is also giving you a very, very sharp picture of what is happening there. For the data transfer, we have a gigabit Ethernet, which is giving us a huge freedom of where we put the unit, where we put the controls. It has a very good light sensitivity. We are coming to that point at a later stage as well. All so important to get a bright and clear picture of what is happening in your production. This is the light. Every camera can be connected with the LED illumination unit. Actually, we can put two cameras together with one illumination unit, which is based on a LED system. This LED system is having a 3 times higher quantity of light, and at the same time it is really using much less electricity than a regular light. And finally, and this is also very, very important, the stand time is 50,000 hours. That means you won't have a lot of problems with the maintenance or any parts that you have to buy for that unit. So the benefits which are coming along with this pattern control system is that it repeats, that it measures the repeats and the patterns without knowing the weft, and corrects the patterns in combination with a straightener. It can detect the position of the single pieces, and this then is very, very important as an information for the assembly at the very end of the line, and it is giving you an uninterrupted monitoring. This transparency, gentlemen, is so important, especially with the airbag production, for any kind of data transfer to your customer. I mean, we are talking about the big car companies, which are, of course, very, very sensitive towards their health and safety issues, and they need to have some insurance that everything that happened in your production is really meeting their requirements and their standards. So with the latest camera technology, you know that even in the next years to come, you are ahead of things. And yes, with the modular system that we provide, you can actually fit it easily into your existing production. One question to you: the quality demands that we are talking about all the times now, are they actually rising? Are they more or less stable? Or do you see that your customers are cutting the cost and therefore also are not caring about quality anymore that much? If you could actually give us an information about that in the comments, it would be also highly appreciated. Thank you so much for that. So, some applications with the airbags. This is what I said before. This is the carriage for the camera and lighting. It is driven across the table to create an image of the airbag. It directly takes the position of the different airbags, and this is how it looks from the side. And this is how they actually work. Again, with the binary large object, it is giving you the orientation of the black lines, the so-called U transformation, and therefore it is having a coordinated system of X and Y axis, and based on that it can identify exactly where those different parts are lying, and it sees the orientation, it sees the length and the pattern repeat, and it can measure the distances between the airbag edge and the web contour, and with this information it can give exactly the necessary information to the laser cutter to automatically get that part out of the web and to cut it out around the contour, around the design, without damaging it at all. So it will get an OK, it won't damage the airbag, and it will give the information about what happened in your production to your customer, and the customer also knows that everything what happened in your production was according to the agreed parameters. If there is no understanding about the contour and the laser cutting, it will also accordingly give you a not OK, which then is a red card for that production lot. But it helps to save lives, it helps to really prevent any issue with the customer, and it makes sure that whatever leaves your production is only the good stuff. So you better have an OK, and you make sure that it really is according to the requirements. The advantages, once again, in a glance, is that you always have a very constant, high quality, which is absolutely required, as I said before, for the airbag production. So you don't get any claims and rejects, which in fact would be a drastic, a very, very severe interruption into your business if you have any problem with a non-performing airbag. Then the monitoring and the transparency and the data transfer helps you to establish a very, very good relationship to your customer. And then, of course, with the latest camera technology, you're always a step ahead of your competition. Finally, yes, we do have a modular assembly, and that allows you to retrofit this technology into your production even next week. Finally, if you liked all the things in this webcast, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also go and visit our website. Here we have a section with videos where we don't explain only the airbags. We also explain about normal commodities, about trousers, about t-shirts, about knitted and woven goods. Finally, if you want to have the presentation, be my guest, just drop me an email and I will send it to you. And once you're in the comments, I would be very pleased to get a thumbs up from you and to see you again for one of our next webcasts. So thank you very much for your time and servus, bye bye.